Welcome to the vulgar Upland, where the metaverse meets real life. A place where we speak our minds, no sugarcoating, just a raw vibe. Don't be fooled by what you see, this channel's not for the faint of heart. We dive deep into the unknown, tearing down walls right from the start. The vulgar Uplander may shock, but never judge a book by its cover. This is the space where anything goes, no limits, no filter, just flow. Embrace the chaos, let your true self show. The vulgar Uplandlander is here to shake things up. Buckle up, let's ride and never give up. Digital realm, exploring what's beyond the screen. Unafraid to speak our minds, uncovering truths that need to be seen. The vulgar Uplander speaks the unspeakable, challenges the status quo. In this ever-evolving metaverse where possibilities flow. Say what you mean what you say. This is the space where anything goes, no limits, no filter, just flow. Embrace the chaos, let your true self show. The vulgar Uplandlander is here to shake things up. Buckle up, let's ride and never give up. Anything goes, no limits, no filter, just flow. Embrace the chaos, let your true self show. The vulgar Uplander is here to shake things up. Buckle up, let's ride and never give up. This is the space where anything goes, no limits, no filter, just flow. Embrace the chaos, let your true self show. The vulgar Uplandlander is here to shake things up. Buckle up, let's ride and never give up. This is the space where anything goes, no limits, no filter, just flow. Embrace the chaos, let your true self show. The vulgar Uplandlander is here to shake things up. Buckle up, let's ride and never give up.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy El Slack, and you're watching the Vulgar Uplander. We got two guests on today. Swarley, you know this dude, but you don't know CapedMadman probably. But he's one of these guys that are behind the scenes helping me out tremendously with the racetrack, and he's got some really cool ideas and things he's been working on. So I wanted to get these guys on and talk racing today. So how are you guys doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, welcome, Madman. I've been keen to get you on board and see what you've got to show us, because I know what you've shown us so far has been pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So good to get you on here so you can explain a bit better of what you've been trying to work on, and we can talk the track and what we're up to and what we're trying to do and some of the thoughts we're having. I've updated my details for the giveaway to make sure that the math makes sense, because when I showed it the other day, it didn't. I forgot to share that on Tuesday. So I'll share that now before I probably disappear for a few weeks. I mean, I only just got on today because we just finished doing our open home inspection a short while ago. So
Yeah, you're gonna be getting married here, so you gotta get ready.
Yeah, this week. So it's like days away I get married. Yes. Anyway, so let's talk track. So what are we starting with?
Yeah. Okay. So what we talked, probably I think in the beginning, you had talked to me about an app that you've been working on that has to do with billboards and kind of like race announcements. Is that kind of accurate? Do you want to?
Yeah. Originally, when racing came into being, there wasn't much content there really. You were just basically, you'd start the race and watch your car. You could change lanes, not do much else. And I found it was very difficult to not join races with other players, because there was always people there. But if you wanted to have a race with people you knew, you had to try and organize how that would happen. And I think Discord was probably the only way at that time. You had to try and message everybody and tell them that you wanted to race on a certain time, on a certain track. And I found that very difficult. And then just showing up, often you'd be the only one in the lobby for quite a while. You could sit there for an hour or two and no one else would show up. And you wanted to race, but you could only race against the AI. And that, to me, was pretty bad. So I thought there had to be a better way to do it. And since at that time there wasn't an API setting for the track, all you could do was all that there was. So I thought the only other option was to create a separate app that was a billboard, sort of. You could post a message saying, I'd like to race tomorrow at 5 o'clock on such and such a track with X car. And that way everybody would know when, where, and what type of car to bring. Because at that time, if you had an S1R, there were no options to help balance the race. You couldn't add the power-ups that they have now. And so everybody else would lose. And that was the thing. You didn't know what car the other players had until you actually entered the race, which again was terrible. You thought you were going to have a good choice, even if you only had a van, but it was likely that you were going to lose, especially if you're entering an amount of money, or UPX at the time, which let's say you say, I want to race and I want to bet that 10,000 UPX that I'm going to win, and you don't know what everybody else is driving. So I thought you can create a private race, but the only way the other players can see that you have that race is if you send that code to somebody. And again, I thought this app would help with that. And if you want to share the screen, I'll show you kind of how that all works.
Okay.
So just I'm new at this, so
No, you're good.
Patience. So anyways, this is how the app would look if you are a user that hasn't signed in. And
is this an app you could download through the App Store?
No, it's just you basically would scan a QR code, and then it basically shows you a web page that is an app, and you can install that web page on your phone, and then it looks like an app. It doesn't have the browser window, but it is actually just a web page. And
is this live right now?
Yes, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But basically, I started out just with the idea of having it a way for people to communicate with each other, to tell them when I want to race and what I want to race with and so on. But as I created the app, I realized there's other things that would be helpful too. And one of the things was vehicles. If you wanted to find out all about all the vehicles, you could just click on this. And actually, I broke this yesterday, so this isn't working quite right. But what would happen is you would click on the vehicle and it would tell you all the data about it. And I've actually broken it, so it just shows you the list in a different way. But I'll have that fixed, later on. But the idea is that you could find out anything about any one of the cars that are in Upland at the moment. And then there's power-ups, same idea. And I'll show you why this is important in a minute too. But each one of these power-ups is available in-game right now. And if I've got this working, so if you click on this, it'll tell you what it is, what the boost value is, why you would want to use it, and how it works.
Okay, well, that's pretty valuable information.
It is actually, and the reason why I wanted to do that is because if you get into the race, and do I have to share another screen or just the same screen?
I don't know. You might be able to just drag something over into the screen that you're on.
Okay, let's see if that works.
Just while you're doing that, I started a hashtag for the Vulgar Speedway, so chuck that into chat if you want a structural ornament at the end of the show, even if you can't stick around.
Do you want me to track that on the
Yeah.
stream?
I was hoping you'd pick up on that.
I did. I just want to make sure that
I saw you looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to try sharing another. I guess I have to share different screens.
That's right. We'll start somewhere. I still can't figure it out.
Okay, that should be Upland. Yeah,
definitely can't figure it out. There we go.
We're watching mouth.
Okay, so if you wanted to go racing, let's actually go to the track that's the stock car track at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, this is the one you got to do 70 races on that people have done like a day. Oh, that's ridiculous. I saw that.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's amazing. Yeah. Holy
I think because I actually have one of those cars. I can.
Yeah, you've got the trainer car, so you can. Apparently, if you do all 70, you get the badge regardless of where you finish in as long as you've done all 70 races.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you're going to find the time to 70 races, but
only the top three get the car.
Yeah. Which from the looks of it's already sewn up, so I think you're just trying to get the badge if you go for it.
Yeah, we know who was going to win right from the start.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's part of the reason why I don't get involved in any of this because I know I've got no hope.
So, anyways, if you were to make a race, I'm just going to do a private race. I'll define the MPS and that's it. So, 270 is the maximum that they allow for the stock cars. You could go higher than that if you had pro. Well, you basically with any car you just add all the power ups and there you go. But 270 is the limit, and I'm gonna put 0 as the entry fee. I'm gonna choose my competition series.
Well, look at you go with all your stock cars.
Yeah.
My fastest cars are you.
Well, I've been trying to get a pro car for a while now, but I never get the chance. Yeah. So this is the screen where you add your power ups, but all you can do is choose one. You don't know what it is. Like it's basic handling, but what does that mean?
Right.
And same with basic nitro. I mean, what does that do? You have at this point you have no idea. And that's kind of why
it would be a speed boost, wouldn't it? Would that be just like an extra boost?
But it's not. The hot sauce is the extra boost.
Oh, okay.
So what's basic nitro?
Yeah, even if you have an idea of what it does, you don't know. It doesn't say. You don't. Yeah. You can look at that and some of the other ones and figure out how to pair them together to make an optimum setup.
Well, you can actually. If you push this, it'll show you what your MPS level is, which they didn't used to do this. So each thing that you choose, and you can choose 2 of the same one if you want. I don't know why you would, but and then if you get to the point where you're going to exceed the MPS level for the race, for the amount that I've said, like 270 is the limit. Mm-hmm. So I can't choose any more of this nitro. But I could choose, like I can undo what I've chosen.
Is there like a cocktail that would like
give you the best result?
Give you the best result, yeah.
Yeah. Right now, like I've done tests where I just place the car on the track and then let it drive itself around without touching anything. Mm-hmm. And it almost always comes out with the same result. So it doesn't matter how many times you change lanes or anything like that. I don't think it's going to affect it. You have to use the brake and you have to use the boost. So handling doesn't seem to do much. I've added this white, I guess it's the middle of the road handling. No, sorry, that's the basic one. This is the enhanced one. This is the second level. And then there's the third one, which is, I don't have any, but it would be yellow, is the maximum performance one. But I used the middle of the road performance and let the car drive itself again for handling, and nothing happened. So it's, I don't know, maybe it's when you change lanes, you can change lanes in a corner and you'll do better. I don't know. none of this has been explained to us, which again is an Upland, thing.
Yeah.
They don't like to explain things.
Oh.
But anyways, this was a problem I saw, so that's why I created. I'm just going to switch back to the app. This may take a second. Okay. So in the app, like I said, if you were racing on your PC and you had this on your phone at the same time, you could actually see, oh, this is what that does. So let's go to the nitro was the thing. No, nitro was the brake. This one, nitro brake oil and nitro fuel charge, very close to the same name. But anyway, this actually improves your acceleration score, so it accelerates your car quicker. So if right off the start of the race, you're going to accelerate quicker than the other cars do if they don't have this. Same with coming out of a corner, your car will accelerate quicker. And that's important. Yeah. So that kind of information is important to know, but you can't see it in the game.
Right.
So that's why I did this, is to help. And that's the same thing with the cars. Although the car is something you, for stock cars, you already know what your car is going to do. But if you're going up against other people with different vehicles, you might want to, know that too.
I mean, that'd make a really great, like a companion app,
Yeah,
that's
exactly what it's meant to help you do the right thing,
Yeah.
And again, you don't have to sign into the app to do this. It's just, you just look at it. There's no, you can sign up, and I'll show you what that does in the future. But anyways, tracks is another thing that I've done. There's an API to get all of the tracks and all of the data. So that's how I'm gathering this information. And I actually just updated it last night. So these are all up to date. So right now there are 307 tracks in Upland, believe it or not.
And Swarley's track is number 1.
Yeah, it's because it's alphabetically number 1. Did you do that on purpose, or was it just lucky?
Of course I did.
Yeah, you did that.
Idiot. Of course I did.
So here's the thing:
how to put one in front without it sounding stupid, and I kind of went with the won by Swarley. In other words, like if the race was won by Swarley, that's what I was kind of, but I couldn't go with the word one because obviously it starts with W, or even the number 1 so I had to go with the number 1. Yeah. So it kind of worked, but not really. But it puts it up in front. It doesn't seem to get any more people racing on it than it would otherwise. But
well, at least it's not AAA by Swarley.
Well, that's what'll come. No, because 1 comes in front of the AAA. But the numbers, people will start cottoning on to that. In fact, I've already done another track for Cosmi Velo, if it ever gets approved. That's 1 mile Cosmi style is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, and that one sort of fits a little bit better because it's literally a 1 mile track for karts. It's what's supposed to be designed for. So 1 mile
actually
style. So that seems to work. So that get it up the top as well, and it's a short track, so hopefully that'll get some attention for the karts.
And that's actually why I put the track length as another way to sort them, so that if you wanted to do karts, you would choose a short track.
Oh my God! Look how that's a valuable feature right there. Holy crap!
Yeah. So, and this is, I think, Upland. Like, I don't know what the value is that Upland gives. It's not. They don't say it's 1.61 kilometers. They say it's. I think it's 1.61 something. And then I tried to compare it to what is actually the length of the track in Google. Like if you do their Google Maps, it seems to be about that. It seems to be kilometers and not miles. So that's what I've. It's not
miles. What does it have my track as in miles? Because I'm pretty sure it was 2 point, pretty much smack bang on 2.
Yeah, so it's not. I was just using kilometers because it's a value. I don't know if it's the right thing or not.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think they do it all in miles. So, and 2 miles is closer to 3 kilometers. I think it's like 2.5 to 3 kilometers. Yeah.
Because I can easily change that, but I mean, it's just whatever I chose. But anyways, so when I was doing this, I was thinking that it would be nice. Like right now, you don't know where your track is. Like if you look at the race building, it's just a building. And I imagine that's why you guys are trying to put up the fences, is so you can actually see where the track is.
So when you're looking at the map itself, that's probably the main focus, is to look at the map as like when you're zooming into Granada Hills and you can clearly see the outline of the track.
Yeah.
That's kind of the first and the main goal, is to try and really mark it out that way. And then obviously if the fences show up in the race, that does look pretty cool. You've brought up a very good point there where there is some issues with that, which I don't want us as players to deal with. I want Upland to try and deal with it, because I think trying to coordinate, it's hard enough to coordinate people just to put map assets on there. Coordinating them to try and figure out where the borderline is for the track, oh my God, I'm not even going to try and cross that bridge. So I appreciate what you've done there and what you've shown in that, and I showed that on the video on the stream the other night. I think just for the overall look, I think if we all just stick to putting on the edge of the property, and then we'll go from there as to how it looks down the track.
But even this icon is not the correct shape. It's similar to they've squished it so it'll fit into a square. These are the icons that Upland has in the API. When you download the API data, it gives you this. And so I'm not actually doing any work here. I just go into Excel and push the update button, and everything automatically updates, which is really nice. And I'm not a developer. I'm just a regular person. These are all generic or public APIs that Upland has. But good luck trying to find them. You know, it's another one of their hidden secret things.
Right. Exactly right.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm not a programmer. I have no idea how to do any of this. I just look at YouTube videos and go, "Oh, that might work." You know.
Okay. Well, you're doing a great job.
Yeah. So, anyways, this is I call the cock and balls thing, just in case you guys want to know.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this.
Well, that's not what
I have seen that once.
Actually, I haven't talking about the Schlong Raceway, and they've already got that.
I haven't looked at the. Is there any comments on the last video in relation to guessing at the name?
I need to look at that. I don't think so.
Okay, so anyways, because there was no outline of the track available in Upland, I thought, well, I'll do that. So this is what this looks like. Here's the Upland view of your track, and here's the Google view of your track. And those are not terribly hard to make, but that does take a little bit of time.
I'd love to see that in game though. I'd love to be able to look at the map and just see the street color, like the street actually just show a line or some sort of indication that there's a speedway there. Yeah. That would be good.
If you clicked on the building, it would pop up the line or something, you know.
Well, just like when you zoom into, like, that's Washington downtown. So even if you just zoomed into Washington downtown and you could see that line, just so people knew that they were on someone's racetrack. Because unless you do the research, because there'd be heaps of people on that racetrack that have no clue they're on that racetrack. It was the first. I don't think it's the only racetrack anymore in Washington, but it was definitely the first racetrack in Washington. And I've not tried a good
solution for now.
It'd be a good way for other people to look at it and see. Especially, I mean, you can see that there is the racetrack building in the vicinity, so you can see whether you're on it or not. I would love to maybe one day try and reach out to people and try and build it up like we are at Granada Hills, but I'm not tackling that logistical nightmare at this stage. At least with the building, we had something like 50% of people that are your track that are already participating and on board and stuff like that. So this one, I've got 0%. So,
Well, your prices are phenomenally high.
Well, that's downtown.
Yeah,
Washington,
exactly.
Isn't it? And the other thing there is I was trying to build a go-kart track. That's why it's got so many turns and stuff. And I was surprised by the time I had sort of connected it all up. And I had to use that sort of outline because I've got the 4 properties involved.
Right.
And it turned out to be the 2 miles. And I was like, oh, God, it's twice as long as I need it to be. And like, I just couldn't cut it down to being shorter for go-karts, which is really annoying. That was what I was going for. Because you can't have straight lines in go-kart racing. They need corners.
It'd be boring as hell.
Oh, God, yeah. So that's what I was going for, and unfortunately it didn't quite work out. And as a result, there's no real straightaways for cars to use boost. So it'd be a really challenging track for fast cars, and it's too long for slow cars, so it's not really ideal for any sort of racing, to be fair.
Yeah. But I've often wondered, like, I haven't raced this yet, but what's that like, or have you tried it?
It's weird.
We did it once. It's just like a really long left corner.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of little left corners.
Yeah, it's not really. I was hoping it'd be more like a like what do they call it? The
Hairpin.
hairpin. Yeah, I was kind of hoping it'd be more like that, but it's not really. Maybe if I didn't go all the way around, I don't know whether it's possible to not go all the way around that roundabout. Whether that would have made it more like that, but that's what I was going for, was like that hairpin sort of turn. But
because I said the thing that's the problem with El Slack's track too is that out here there's no houses yet, so you just get a look of nothing. You know, there's no detail.
Because he's gone to the edge of that. But that's just
that'll change. But I mean, you know,
well,
it's because they'll release part of Washington and people will build it up eventually.
Oh, Washington? No, well,
but not in LA. That's not going to change. Yeah. There's a giant field of nothing there.
Yeah, and I don't think that'll change.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Unless you can put cows there or something.
Ooh, maybe we can do some farmland.
We'd have to own
We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about racing.
Okay, well, anyways, getting back to the track, it's actually, I meant this to be if you were going to hold an event on your track, which I think you guys should do. Like you do a race every time you have a show, or you were doing one. But if you were to put in, there's nothing in here now. I'll show you how to add that. But if you were to have a race, excuse me, my throat is breaking up. But if you were to have a race, let's say on weekly on Wednesdays, just hang on, I'm gonna have a drink. Sorry. Hopefully that'll fix it. But let's say you were going to have a regular event every Wednesday or every Saturday or whatever. If you put it in here, people could click on your track and then see the events and then see what kind of a reward there was, or see how many people were going to show up or things like that.
Is it possible in your app to, like, say, have Swarley be able to put that in?
You're just getting ahead of me. Right now I'm viewing as everyone or anyone. I am logged in. I'm the only guy who has an account here, so I'm going to click. This is now me. So if I go to my homepage, it shows that I have to enter my name for some reason. Okay, maybe it changed. I must have reset the program. Yeah, okay, it's working. I didn't think it was. So what happens if you're actually a member is that you can add your cars. Like I have several, and I can add any car I like. There's no, like I said, I can't grab data from Upland through the API because I don't have access to that because I'm not a developer. I only have access to certain APIs. So anything about your account, I can't grab that. They used to have before. You remember the racing game glitched and they had to take it down for a little bit, or it was still working, but it wasn't working very well. I can't remember what the problem was, but
is that
before that,
spinning out and stuff.
Yeah, before. You could change lanes ahead of somebody like a half a track ahead and your car would crash or whatever. But before they did that, they allowed people to, there was an API for the lobby. You could I could use my app to see if there was anybody in the lobby, if there was a race running. But they've canceled that now. The API is gone. So I can't do that. I can't show the races in progress. And but I can allow you, if you create an account on my app, you could actually keep a record of your cars on here by adding them to your garage. And so if I go to my account here, you'll see that I have all these cars listed in my account, and I have all these power-ups listed in my account.
And you have to add those manually as of right now?
You would, but it's an easy thing to do, but again, you have to do it manually. I did have a thing set up where you could, if somebody created a race in this app, you could get an alert sent to you by email. But I found out that doesn't work very well, because if you create a race, let's say in 15 minutes, you might not get the email for another hour. there is no way to speed up that process because the email servers deliver your mail whenever they want.
That'd have to be like
And-
a Discord message or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so right now I own both of your tracks. Haha. So this is how I'm going to show you how it works. But
Yeah.
but if you were to join, you would have access to the thing that I'm about to show you,
Okay.
which is let's go back to tracks. Let's do it this way. So you come in here, and now you have an edit button. So you can now say, welcome. And anything you type in here shows up in here. So now it says welcome.
That's cool.
So
Is that
you
something
could,
that you'd have to assign once somebody signed in?
yeah,
or
you would have to prove to me that you actually owned a track.
Okay.
I'm not just gonna people say I own this track and then they don't. And I need some kind of proof that that's what's happening. But in the edit screen, you could change pretty much. I'm trying to make it so that you could add anything, even a header image for your track. You could add a picture,
Like
so
a
that
logo or
instead of
something.
being nothing up here, it would show us an image.
That's cool.
And yeah. So I mean, it's a very basic thing, but at the same time, I thought it could be helpful to people who just want to see more information about what's out there, or they don't have to go searching for it. It's all right here. Like the power up stuff is here, the track stuff is here, the car stuff is here. There's also right now the stock car competition. I've made a little app for that. So right now you can see that City Pigeon is leading. And this, I'm using AI to capture the data because Upland won't let us copy that page, the page with all the results. I don't know if you guys have looked at it or not, but
I've seen it.
yeah, you guys were saying there are people that have finished 70 laps already. These are them. This is how many people have finished 70 laps
Jeez.
already. This is what, day 3, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
There were some people that finished it in one day.
Yeah, there were
I don't know.
4, I think, that finished it one day.
Well, I guess if you've got multiple cars, you can do multiple races at once. But
Yeah, but you couldn't be driving them all.
yeah, but if you're only after the AI to finish the race for you, just to
Yeah,
get
but
the over
Oh,
to get
okay,
the
yeah,
badge.
to get the 70. But
And then you probably do just maybe concentrate one car to get your good scores, I guess. But I mean,
but
I don't
these
know.
3 guys are going for the best time.
yeah, I think the gap between the top 3 and the rest of the field is huge. Anyone that wants
Yeah.
to chase them down, good luck to them. It's even if I had a car, which I don't think I'd even give it the time of day to try. Personally,
if you-
but I don't know nothing about racing, so I'm
If
not
you
gonna-
just let your car go by itself, it'll do 3 minutes and 40 seconds for a competition car. For the trainer, I think it's 3:55 or something. It's not much slower. And the pro is like 3. I haven't got one. I'm guessing that it's 3:35 maybe. It might not even be that quick because the pro car will crash on or go out of control on every corner.
Right.
Whereas the trainer doesn't. It only goes out of control on a couple of corners. And but the easiest way to beat this right now is hot sauce. You get 1 extra boost, or if you use like 2 hot sauce, you'd get 2 extra boosts. So the
it's a
boosting is where you're.
Well, they made it more affordable, didn't they? So I don't know. Does it become? I
Sort
guess
of.
if you know you can get a car, I guess it might be worth a.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know,
right
anyways,
now, I looked at all of the stores in LA because that's where I am, and hot sauce is on the average it's about $5 per hot sauce.
Per.
So $5
pasta.
per 70
Pasta.
laps is.
Yeah, and no, I
not
wasn't
worth
going
it.
to anyway. But no.
Yeah. Well, that's just the thing. You could win if you were wealthy, and again, there's a lot of that in Upland.
You know, and
It's just pay to win the
and
game.
that's fair enough. Like Upland is across the board pay to win, and it is what
Yeah.
it is. And that's true for every single competition, no matter what it is. So you get involved in Upland, you're aware of that.
Yeah.
So if Big A decides to take on a competition, you know full well he's going to win it because he's got more money than everybody else put together. In fact, he's bigger than the next 10 biggest players put together. To put that in perspective, so
Although,
it's just ridiculous.
Do you think he's actually playing the game though?
I don't even think he's real.
I'm not going to speculate on my thoughts live on air, so let's move on from there.
We'll talk about that off when we're not live. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I imagine he's a real person. It's just that I couldn't imagine having that many properties. Like, and this is a problem that I've thought of the Upland has at the beginning. Like, if you in real life, let's say you want to be a real estate mogul, and you go out and you start with your first house, you buy a house and you go, whoopoo, I own a house. And then you think, okay, I've got enough money to buy a second house. I'll rent that out. So you keep doing this, and eventually you get 10 houses. And you're thinking, okay, I can't manage any more than 10 houses. I now have to hire somebody to manage these houses for me. So you start a company to manage the houses. And let's say you get up to 100 houses. There's no way one person can take care of 100 houses that you're renting out. It just wouldn't work. So at some point,
it has been speculated that he does have multiple people running different parts of his game. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Obviously, I was even talking to Dirk himself about it at the London meetup, and he even said something along the lines of, and I'm not quoting, just sort of paraphrasing, something along the lines of, "It's funny how Upland has an issue with multi-accounters, and we're always trying to stamp that out of the game. He's kind of the opposite. It's like multiple people but one account."
Yeah.
So I think Upland believe that it's. And I don't know. I mean, there's rules that say you're not allowed to share your log-on details, all that sort of stuff. That's in the terms and services of Upland. So, but again, I don't know how it all works. And I'm only speculating. It's only guessing. I wouldn't have a clue, A, who he is, B, what he does, or how he manages. But I know from my account, which is 1,000 times smaller, it's a full-time job for me to manage my one account.
Yeah.
So how he manages his, I have no idea.
Yeah, well, I'm happy he's in the game. Like, I wish there were more people like that. But
100%.
What I was getting at was that at some point, when you get to be a chief executive, most of the guys own so many properties that they kind of don't care. And most of them can't find their collections to put, the property to put in the collection. They have too many properties. And I'm getting that way myself. But at some point, Upland should have thought, there's going to be a lot of players that have a crap load of houses or, properties. We need to stop them from buying all of the properties in a new location. We need to make it so that instead of buying tiny little properties that you could buy all day long, you need to buy the bigger ones, which the little guy can't afford. You need to steer the wealthy players towards the bigger properties. And that's what I was saying. In real life, at some point, you would get tired of buying houses and you would start buying businesses instead. Or buildings, or like apartment buildings, or bridges, or whatever. But you wouldn't buy another 5,000 houses because that's dumb.
It's funny you say that, because the Upland were kind of going down that road. I found as I was growing bigger in my size, I cared less about city openings and more about collection reveals the week after, because I'd be happy to pay whatever the markup was on a collection, knowing that I'm just picking up a collection, and I'd only buy the 3 from my collection that I needed, paying 2, 3, 4 times whatever it was initially. I was happy with that. And this speculation of going in and just buying everything up, it's kind of, I'm forced back to doing that if I want a collection, which I don't like doing. So it's funny that you say that that's what they should be trying to get the bigger accounts to do, which kind of was what was happening, and they've gone away the opposite way from that.
Yeah.
And they've kind of stopped or stamped that out.
Yeah, well, I still go for new releases, hoping that I'll get, some ultra rare property.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've never done in this game is mint an ultra rare. I keep trying every bloody city opening, and I just I don't even hit the collection on an ultra rare.
I got one accidentally in Washington.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah.
Right down the bottom.
Yeah.
I forget the street. There was only one.
The Peace Building.
Oh, nice. I've never ever in 3 years now almost have I hit an ultra. I've hit everything else, so I can't complain too much. I have got the rares and the limiteds. The exclusives, but yeah, an ultra rare. I'd just love to mint one collection once, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you what you're saying. But I mean, Abdullah is mostly absent, I think, from city openings too. I don't think he really rocks up and.
I've seen he seems to buy stuff late. I don't know if it's
It comes in and basically lets everyone else have a crack first, and then just pretty much cleans up afterwards.
which honestly is a very nice thing for him
back.
to
I
do.
gotta answer a phone call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he could just wipe us out. I mean, I don't know how much money he's got, but
when that what was that Discord game called? It's still going. Is it
Kingdoms or
no, not that one. The Discord one, the text one, which I think is now a website. I just don't play it.
there was Kingdoms and there was.
You started it. I just trying to remember what his name was. So, and it started off in Queens. There was a neighborhood in Queens where the whole thing was set. And as a treasure hunt in Queens at the time, Uplandia, that's the one. And I can't remember. I think it was Flushing, one of the neighborhoods in Queens. And at the time, it was mostly unminted, which is probably why they picked it, so people could get on board and be able to buy property and then use that in the game. And I was treasure hunting there, and there was a whole heap of vacant stuff, so it wasn't too much of an issue with treasure hunting because if it's unbought, then the treasure couldn't be there. And then one day, Abdullah had bought 2,000 properties in that neighborhood, and he owned all of them. They were all just set at the default send price, but then all of a sudden there was a huge gap in my web where he had bought all this stuff in the one day almost. But it sent the prices for everything because he doesn't sell anything, so it set the prices for everything else up through the roof. So it's not saying it's bad, it's just the way the game is. But there needs to be more of them. And maybe we'll get that from this next bull run over the next 12 months. Maybe we'll have some competition for him and Dizzy, which would be nice.
Yeah. Well, actually, that is another problem. I always thought is if a wealthy player comes in, buys a lot of stuff, and then loses interest in the game, you're ending up with a lot of dead areas that you'll never be able to buy them. And I thought that Upland needs a way. Especially with people in jail, if you go into jail, they should start auctioning off your properties. And I'm not saying right away, because I think a lot of people go to jail accidentally. They don't like a guy I got into the game a while ago, lost interest in the game, and I went to look at his account, not log in, but just look at him as a player in the game, and found out he was in jail, and he hadn't logged in 2 months. And I phoned him up and said, "Hey, you're in jail. What did you do?" And he goes, "Nothing. I haven't played." And I think what happened was he probably he may have been in some kind of interaction with somebody else who went to jail. I don't know how going to jail works, but they must have flagged him as maybe one of the other guy's multi-accounts or something. I don't know how it worked, but all he did was send them a message and say, "Why am I in jail?" And they took him out. But to me, that was kind of not frightening. But like you guys, I have an amount of money in the game that I don't want to lose.
Right?
I have to pay more to
I've mentioned that multiple times. The common phrase in crypto is "not your keys, not your coins." Don't keep your stuff in your own private wallets and not on exchanges. Upland's basically an exchange, but not anywhere near as sophisticated as an exchange. Yeah. So as Sparklet, especially as that goes up in value, that scares the living crap out of me. That I've got a crap load of money, and Sparklet has now become my number one holding of crypto in the whole, for the single most coin. I mean, it's close to 1/3 of my portfolio, a bit less than 1/3 of my whole portfolio, and it scares the living crap out of me. So, me personally, at some stage in the near future, I'll be withdrawing most of my Sparklet, not to sell, just to have it somewhere safe. Because if I slip up, especially these, one of these sort of episodes or something like that, and I say something that I regret later on, which is highly possible, because I do get fired up from time to time. We've seen players sent to jail for doing a simple Twitter post, so it scares the crap out of me. And knowing that Upland, have the ultimate, or got hand of God or ultimate power, whatever you want to say. And look, I mean, they've got their terms and conditions out there. It's pretty clear. Obviously, you can't be offensive or abusive to individuals, which I try not to be. I try to be fair and consistent with any criticism I have. A lot of my personal feelings I keep off air, so to speak.
Yeah.
But
can you actually put Sparklet in a wallet yet? Is there a wallet that'll hold?
Yeah, it's an Ethereum coin. So pretty much any wallet, you name it, it can as long as it has Ethereum blockchain. So whether it be MetaMask, Coinbase wallet, even just another exchange. So you've only got 4 or 5 exchanges that'll accept it, like BitGet. But yeah, anything that accepts an Ethereum blockchain, so Trust Wallet's another one that would be good. But MetaMask would be the most common. But any of those wallets will hold it, and then you've got total control. Upland can send you to jail if it's in your wallet, which means you can't use it in game, which is kind of the disadvantage of it. But then
you could still exchange it for cash.
Yeah.
So once it's outside of the Upland have no control over what you do with it.
Going back to racing a little bit, I do have a question, and I know we could go on about non-racing things all day, as we do often. Is it possible, with the Sparklet need to be staked on vehicles, do you have plans for that to be in your app, or have you already done that?
See, how
much each car would need.
See, that's the thing, is because until they tell us what the rules are, I don't know what to program, and I don't want to waste time programming stuff that they're never going to use. I'm really only interested, like, I'm actually, to tell you the truth, I'm not interested in owning this app. I'm not going to sell it to somebody, but I just wanted to do it as a, hey, look, this could be done, kind of thing.
Right.
I know I went way overboard and did a lot more. Like, I've actually created all these, AI images of cars and whatever. But all the images in here are AI created that I did in Midjourney. But and I actually pay for this app. I pay $60 a month for no one to use it, essentially.
Well, we got to change that, man. We got to figure something out.
Well, that's the problem. If when I bought this, or when I signed into this app, you can't actually purchase the app. It's not like Photoshop. You don't get it. You're in a whatever they call it, subscription thing. So every month I have to pay $60 to keep my apps running, essentially. And if I only have what they call 2,000 updates that I can make. Essentially what you're looking at here is an Excel spreadsheet that has an interface on it. And so if I create a race, which I'm going to do, if I did it now, that's an update to the app. So if I were to create a race, I'd create one update. If you were to create a race, that's one update. If you were to add a car to your garage, that's an update. So every update counts, no matter who it is that's using it. If you're a registered user, that's an update. I'm only allowed 2,000 updates per month, and that's for all of the apps that I have, not just for this one. And I've developed a couple of other apps that I hope nobody uses either, because if I go over that 2,000 limit, then they start charging me for the updates. I get 2,000 for free, but after that, it's not free. And then if I switched from I'm not on the free plan. The free plan is no updates. The next up is the one I'm on, which is a personal thing. And then the second one up is business. And then there's enterprise and whatever. The enterprise one costs $500 a month. And you can still exceed your updates if you want, but I think they think if you're an enterprise or a company, you can afford it, but it is a fairly expensive app for what it is, but I'm not a programmer, so this is the easiest one to use too.
Right.
So it is what it is. But I mean, like I said, if no one signs in, there's no update done. Yeah. So to create the idea, what I was thinking was, if you weren't signed in and you just want to create a race for other people to join you with, and this is before Upland actually, you still can't see what type of car another person is driving before you get to the lobby, which is a problem. Because especially if you're going to add money to the race, you want to know what the other players are racing with. But now you can at least add the MPS limit. So you could say you could limit it to the only vans or only cars below like a Series C or whatever they are. I can't remember.
Yeah, Series 1, 2, 4, I think.
Yeah. So anyways, you can, the way I've got it set up is you can allow power-ups or not, require a qualifying lap or not. The reason why I wanted you to give your name if you have one is so that people know how to join your race, or which race to join, essentially, is what's going to, because again, this doesn't send any information to Upland, and it doesn't get any information from Upland. So I would put in my name. I'm going to do lowercase. The entry fee I'm going to put in is, let's say, 10,000 UPX. MPS limit, let's say it's a stock car, so 270. Number of races would be, this is the idea, is that you could say I'm going to race for an hour, and each race is approximately 5 minutes long. So let's say I'm going to do 10 races.
Okay.
And I want it to start tomorrow at 6:15. So I submit that, and now there's a race that's showing up here that for Saturday, November 23rd at 6:15, the total time of me racing, I'm thinking I'm going to be racing for 50 minutes, so people know, oh, it's more than just one race.
Yeah.
They'll know which race to join, because that's me, and they'll know the limit and the price you have to pay to get in, and that there's no power-ups and no qualifying line. So basic data, and it's like
that's a feed. Like let's just say there's like 10 or 20. We'll just say this is for track owners, right? And there's 10 or 20 of them on there, and this would just show up all of them that had posted, an event, and then you could look at that information and then go into the game and find that event and when it's happening.
Almost, because this is just like, I have I can't see them here, but I have mixed this around a little bit since last time I did it, but there's only so many icons I can put down the bottom, and at the moment I was more interested in just getting the power-ups and tracks and vehicles in here, but I can move anything around. And what I've done is I created what I called street races, then there's track races, and then there was one other one which I moved somewhere else. Public races. Okay, there's public races, street races, and track races. And the public races are the ones where you don't have to sign in, and it's not a private race, it's a public race. The track races, the street races were ones where you would create a private race, and this is what this would look like. I'm logged in as me, so I'm going to create a race, and it's the same thing essentially. I could check the cars that people own. This isn't working because no one else is actually signed into the app, but I could check. Let's say I want to choose, let's say a Series 4, and then I would check what other players have a Series 4. If there was anybody else signed into the app, it would show how many players have that vehicle, and that way I would know, oh, there's at least 10 other players who have a Series 4, so I'm good making a course for a Series 4. And I don't know if that would actually, like, none of this I've tested out because no one's used it. So it's just all in my head as to whether or not it would actually work. But so let's do the same thing again. 10,000 UPX entry fee. I'm going to choose one by Swarley. And the time, let's make it tomorrow at 2:15 and submit that. So now in the current races, there's nothing running, but in the upcoming races, there's this one for one by Swarley. And I can actually look at the track now and see all the data about the track if I want to. And if there was another user, if they were interested in joining the race, there would be a button up here that says, I am interested in joining. So over the next day, you would find out, oh, there's 5 people who want to join my race. And when you go to create it in Upland, you'll hopefully have 5 other people. And also I can delete this if I decide to change my mind. Like if I do one that's right away, I'll choose Swarley's track again, just any vehicle. No. And so now I'm choosing a minute from now. Let's say 4 minutes from now. And Oh, I guess I have to enter 0. Okay, so now it's upcoming, and it will start in 1 minute. So people would know, oh, I got to get there right away because it's going to start soon.
Yeah.
And then when 1 minute passes, you'll see it jump from here into the current thing. And that's when I should go and actually create the race in Upland. Again, it would be nice if this did it automatically, but there's no API for that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, is it possible, let's just say Upland was like, yeah, you applied to be a developer, and I think we've talked about that a little bit, and they say, yes, is it possible that that could happen? Like,
well, I'm pretty sure if I can do this, they can do it. It's like they're better at this than I am, but I don't know how much they're willing to do for us at the moment. At one point, I remember, I don't know if it was a Dan or what's the other guy's name?
Dirk?
Yeah, I can't remember, but one of them said that they want layer 2 to be a big thing. They want people to do things that they aren't doing themselves.
Right.
They've left certain things undone because they want someone to fill that and make money from it. And I get that. That's important. They want to give us a way to make money, but we need a bit more tools. Like I need to, like, it took me months to try and figure out how to do this.
Right.
So now it's in current races, and everybody's waiting for the private code because I have to go and create the race, get the private code, enter it here. So I'm going to enter an imaginary number because that's, what it is.
Yep.
And now you would see, oops. Oh, I have this actually sending to a Discord channel. So that I was thinking it's my Discord channel, but it was I was thinking that if I can't send emails to people, I could actually send a message to a Discord channel, and then if you were a member of that channel, you would get a message right away saying there's a race.
That is awesome.
So that would work well. There is a Discord channel that does something like this, isn't there, where you can try and get on there looking for races. So this, in conjunction with that, would be probably a good fit.
Only I tried that, and it turns out that Discord, the app, only searches, like when you share, like let's say you wanted to monitor my channel, my group, and you want to duplicate any message that goes into my racing group, and you want it to be in your Discord channel. It turns out that Discord doesn't do that immediately. It's a random time. So it depends on how many people are in the queue. So it might come immediately, or it might be next day. You have no idea.
I have noticed that when I've had a message on my PC straight away from Discord, and then like 2 hours later, my phone will go with the same message. But it'll show it just now. Such and such message. And I'm like, hang on, I got this message 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Is it possible that, like, say for my racetrack, the Vulgar Speedway, and I have we have a server and have a channel within the server. Is it possible to have, like, say I post a race in your app, to have that notification sent to my Vulgar Speedway channel within my server?
I think so. I would need to be an admin on your channel.
Yeah.
Be able to post something there, because you wouldn't want everybody posting something in there. You just
I would just say if it was just me, like say I wanted to create an event for the Vulgar Speedway as the owner of the track, and I want to do an event.
The only thing is it's my app, so I can't give you access to my app, but you can give me access to your Discord server.
I see. So
it's not something I won't do. It's something I can't do is the thing,
Yeah. So as a signed in user, that's not an option to have it like sent like to your server or something.
I'd have to play around with it a bit. Like the one I tested it out with was the Analytic Assassins, and it didn't work there. And so I'm not, like, I'd have to do some more playing around to see if it would actually work. But that's kind of what I was hoping, is if, like, that's why I messaged you guys in the first place, is to see if you wanted to try using this app as the only users of this app, to have you could then set up races and you could put in on your track. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Vulgar Speedway. I've done your track too for maps as well.
Awesome.
And so you could edit this and say, I'm going to have a race every Saturday and the prize is going to be, a teacup, whatever. And that way it's at least you're trying. And every time somebody races on your track for money for UPX, you guys get some of that.
Right.
So that I was thinking, well, why wouldn't you want to do this?
Exactly.
The more people are racing on your track for money, the more you get.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you could give away more stuff. But anyway, it's just it's what I was trying to do. But again, if I actually get too many people using this, I could not afford to do it. I would have to give it up.
Therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a way. I mean, maybe that's something we talk about some other time to monetize it in some kind of way, just within Upland, to make it doable.
Well, that's the thing. See, I was thinking they don't like you making UPX without them getting a share, right? Swarley, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give them some, and that's what layer 2 is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't. I'm not intending to make money from this.
Well, I just don't want you to lose money. Is the thing.
Well, at least I was going to say, okay, I can put some properties of mine on here, and people can visit the property and give me a little bit of money that way. But this wasn't meant to make money. This was meant to show people this can be done. Please, somebody do this.
Right.
And then I got carried away.
And now you've made this really cool functional app that is expensive to use.
Well, I've learned a lot. Like, I can't get a job doing this because I'm too old, but it's been a fun thing for me to do, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can attest to that because it's like when I dived into my Blender and 3D stuff. It's fun. It's fun to learn. It's fun to broaden your knowledge and expand and challenge yourself, and which is what I keep doing, is just keep trying to challenge myself that step further. Put on the back burner at the moment with my IRL being a little bit busy, but next year I hope to dive in really deep into it. So I can certainly attest to what you're doing. Once you start this rabbit hole that seems to get out of control, and it's a labor of love. Like, if you can find a way to make money from it, which obviously you can with UGC, it's a bit of an added bonus. But I'd almost do it for free because it's just fun.
But I mean, the more you do, the more you go, oh, I bet I can do this, or I wonder how I can do that.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
I think when you're done, you actually have something. I know it's not real, but I mean, it's kind of it is real.
It's
like
real.
3D objects are real. We
could do something really cool with this and not, push you over your limit.
Well, that's what I was thinking of, maybe to start with. If I get you to be a user or a login, and then you can start playing around with it and see if we can actually get this to work with just you as the only user. And obviously, but
I'm gonna do that for sure. Can you send me?
I'll send you the QR code that you can log in with.
Send me the QR code.
This is also a web page. Like, you can actually, like, if I
just bring it up on my browser.
If you go to this link, you can actually scan this QR code. I don't know if I can make it bigger, but
maybe my phone will pull it off. Let me see real quick. Phone, can you do it, or is it too blurry? It might be too blurry.
So
I think it does. Yeah. Allow.
Okay, there should be a button somewhere that says add to home screen or add app to home screen or something. Are you using a Mac or a Android?
It's phone. Add to favorites. I will figure that out.
It's not add to favorites. It's add to home screen. It's somewhere in there. It depends on which browser you're using, but
right. I will figure that out. Download this page. Add to phone. Okay.
When you're done, it should look like this and not like a web page on your phone. Like if it looks like a web page, it'll have the thing up browser screen at the top and at the bottom. It should just look like this.
Okay. Yeah, it still has those things, but it has it within the. I think that's just how edges work.
Yeah. No, you should be able to add. Like it should be able to add as. What? I can't remember.
Oh,
add
let
app,
me.
It's something in there. You'll figure it out. But
yes, I will figure it out.
But like I said, this has been a lot of fun for me. I'm not regretting having done it. I was hoping, like I even showed this to, I can't remember. I think it was Mass Chef. I showed the URL guys this, and they all said it looks good. Tell us when it's finished. You know, at that stage I was finished, and I thought, okay, that's not what I was expecting. But
Right.
because what they wanted was to be able to use this only, so that you wouldn't have to, go to Upland and add your race there. But like I said, there's no interaction with the race program in Upland. It's just from being there. So I can't send a message to it. I can't receive anything from it. I can't do anything. And I think they want to keep control of it at the moment because it's still, what says it's an alpha program or a beta or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, the racing is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they actually have an app in the App Store that's called Upland Racing, but it's just the history. It's not actually.
Yeah.
You can't race with it. So I'm not sure what that is. But
It's what you need for like on my phone. So when I'm in Upland and I want to go race, it puts me in to the Upland Racing app.
Yeah. Oh, does it?
Yeah. I can't race unless I have that app downloaded.
It just shows the history for me. It doesn't actually let me race. I can race on my phone through the Upland app, but not through the racing app. Not through this racing app, but through the Upland Racing app.
If you uninstall that app, I don't think you can race.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, I'd have to test that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have it. I have it now on my phone, and it'll be easy enough.
Play around with it. I mean,
I'm gonna tinker with it, and I'm gonna.
There's a few things I have to fix, obviously, like the vehicle thing, but most of it is working, and playing with it will help you figure it out. I will up you to admin on the app so that you can do all the things, like you'll become a track owner and whatever.
Okay.
But while we're here, this is another thing that I was working on. I've made a bunch of different ones, but this was we had the Miami Beach release lately. Oh, sorry, that's not the right one. I was making one for you for that Excel spreadsheet that we have. But,
I like that.
Yeah, I knew you would.
I thought that was the one. Maybe it's not the one. No. Maybe I changed them both accidentally.
Upland username.
I must have. Anyways, I had a new city release where it would show you like I would have to do this manually, but a lot of it is automatically given to us. So I was just going to use AI to copy all the data and paste it into a spreadsheet and then basically display it this way. You'd be able to see all the information about what the dates were. And I was going to allow everybody to edit this. So if I had like 5 people that were willing to help me when a new city is released, they could each be assigned like important dates for one person and property prices for another and other data for the third. And, each person could have their own, they would only see the edit button for their thing is essentially what would happen. And you can come in here and enter all of the data that's required for the dates. And that would show up for everybody that wants to see this. And again, it was a helper app for when the city is released. You would be able to have this on your phone and be on your PC at the same time and see all the data, like the minimum, average prices, maximum. That only occurs once the city is released, but those kind of things we want to know. And the number of neighborhoods, the collections, all that kind of stuff. It's all in one spot, where with Upland, you have to go to their Medium page and their in-game help and a bunch of other places to see all this data. And I was just trying to organize it all into one thing. And so there was for Miami Beach, I actually listed all the things, and there's all the data for each neighborhood, what someone had thought were important, paragraphs for each.
Right.
So there was all that, and then there was collections. Once they were released, I had them listed and what they were and so on. But again, this is just it was just a helper app for new releases, and this isn't the main page, but I must have screwed up there. Also, I did one for what's the other one I did? Factory help, but I haven't really gone anywhere with this. And I was talking to Swarley about this. Instead of building all of your map assets and then moving them to showrooms randomly, how do you choose where you put them, Swarley?
With my structural ornaments, I just try and put an even spread across all the different cities, and then each night when I've got some spare time, because it's such a pain in the ass, I'll just go to a showroom and just see and I keep them organized in a straight line so I can see what's sold and what hasn't, and then I just top them up. Simple as that. But it's easy because I don't have a lot at the moment. Give another 6 months, I might have 3, 4, 5 times the inventory that I have at the moment, and that's going to become logistically, like with the current AI that Upland has, so not AI, UI, that Upland currently has, it is almost impossible to manage it. One good thing is that this new, if and when they implement it, when you can just buy stuff from a showroom, as long as you've got a property in that city, that will help a lot. And as a result, I'm looking at trying to reduce the number of showrooms that I have rather than increase, which I know is different to, say, Ben68, who's committed to having a showroom in every city. I don't know how he tries to manage that. It's other than physically eyeballing each showroom, and if you've got one in each city, that is logistically a nightmare.
Yeah,
especially trying to do that on your phone. So,
you're retired.
I would love for that, and I've reached out to Bielman in the past to see if it's possible, even if it's just a data that will show me what properties or what showrooms I have and what's on there. So if it says I've got, so look at my fuzz range to the police stuff. It might say I've got 6 fuzz structural ornaments for the townhouse, then I can see that and go, sweet. And if it could show me my balances on each one, where I didn't have to worry about organizing them, having them neat and tidy, but just physically be able to see on even a different page where it can just refresh the data and go, yeah, you've got 10 of each, sweet, and I can move on to the next showroom, I've got 10 of each, or something like that. That would be amazing in itself, and a massive improvement on what we currently have, because at the moment, unless you physically keep them all neat and tidy so you can see what you've got, and a lot of players don't, they just dump everything anywhere, wherever the AI drops it. There's no way of being able to track it. It's just ridiculous, and it's double-edged sword, because I think in one way it hampers a lot of people and reduces some people just look at it and just go, no, I couldn't be bothered, it's not worth the effort to get involved, which kind of, those that are willing to do it, kind of gives them less competition, I guess. So it's kind of a catch-22 in that sense, but I would happily I'd pay Upland money to have a UI that was useful.
Well, that's kind of what I was hoping this could be, but again, it would have to be everybody jumps on it once for it to work properly. But the idea was to have all of the factories listed, and I've stolen some people's icons here just as a demo, but the idea was you could see all of the factories here of the people that were on this app, and you could click on them, and then they would show what the item was, and you could say, oh, I like this, I'd like to put that on my thing, and then it would say, how many mints there were, what it was, the description of whatever it was, and then prices. And because often when I don't know about you guys, but when I'm trying to search for something on the Upland app, on the Upland game for let's say fences, you get a list of all of the fences, and then you click onto one that you like, and then you get a list of all of the people that own them, and the factories, but you don't know if it's at a showroom or not. You have no idea until you click on that, and then you have to go to the location, and then you find out that it's reserved for somebody because that's not a thing.
It doesn't say.
Yeah, it's frustrating. But I was thinking if we did this like a catalog, where when you want to make, so you don't even have to make it, but let's say you want to make it, you've designed it in Blender, you've made your screenshot of it, and then you post it on here and say, does anybody want to buy this? And if you get 50 people that said yes, I want to buy that, then you make it in the factory, and then you say, okay, where do you want me to send it? So you're not actually moving the item anywhere yet, you're just having your factory build them. And then but now you don't have to be in the city, but you used to. So I was thinking that would be before that happened, this was a good thing, that you could say, I'm in LA, can you please send one to LA? And that's where it would go. But now you just have to have one showroom, so maybe the app isn't really important.
I don't know, one showroom will be enough. I think you're going to need a number like 3, 4, 5. You won't need one in every city, I don't think.
Does it count for continents?
Well, I think it does. Like, I think even if your Block Explorer is based in London, I think if as long as you've got a property that you own in and at the moment without transport of stuff, I think if you own a property in LA and the shop's in LA, you can buy it, have it delivered to your property in LA, and then move it yourself to London. I think that's the way it's going to work at the moment.
And then change.
If they do bring in transport where you've then got to ship it from wherever you are to wherever you want it, if that ever comes into the game, which, I was super happy to see that they finally introduced Sparklet as fuel for cars. I think it's a utility that they've been talking about for years. At the time they introduced that, my car was stuck at Kansas City because I had to go there to pick up some map assets from somebody who's ignoring me. And as a result, I had to send my car back to Queens, and it was a nightmare. It was an absolute effing nightmare to get my car from Kansas City to Queens. Like, instead of it being a 14-hour drive or whatever it used to be, I now had to go from there to one city, recharge, find another city that was in range, recharge again, and then finally get to Queens. It took me almost 24 hours, and you can only recharge a maximum, I think it was 3,800 Sparklet, when I've got way more than that. So I don't even have the option of recharging faster.
Buy a new car then, crybaby.
It was to be fair, it was I think my car will be parked up from this point forward, and I don't care if I'm going from Queens to bloody somewhere else. It'll be public transport. I just can't see myself ever using the car ever again.
Yeah, can you do, like, you can now do the plane thing? You can choose your start and destination, and it does all the rest. Or is that not yet?
No, it's not yet.
Implemented.
Okay. So you can't do that with cars then either.
No, well, now because you've got a car, and I guess different cars have different ranges, I suppose, which kind of makes sense from the IRL. But you can only go so far. Then you got to stop for an hour to recharge, and then you go so. So going from one side of America to the other that's just not feasible. Pay the 1,500-1,600 UPEX and just fly, because it's like even going from Queens to Chicago, you can't do that in one hit. You've got to stop somewhere on the way. And I mean, I guess they're trying to reflect IRL somewhat, but
but at some point, it's still a game. It's got to be worth doing. But we can.
Well, in my head, I had it that you have to, like, if you're going for a drive, you would have to stake, like, if say the drive was from Queens to LA, obviously the longest drive you can do in the game at the moment, I think. You would have to stake your spark on that car and then drive. Like, you do it in one hit still, but you'd have to stake 5,000 spark for the entire length of that drive, and then you'd get to that other end. Not this stop, 3 or 4 times on the way, recharge for an hour. Like, it's just such a nightmare to and you got to log back in each time. So you got to set a timer and log back in. A, when the car gets there. B, when it's charged, and then set it off again. It's just, the friction to it has just been absolutely blown out of the water, if you ask me. And personally, to me, it was like, if I'm going to drive from Queens to LA, then I need 5,000 Sparklet to charge the car for that drive. That was what I understood. At least I never really thought about it too much, but that in my head, that was what you're going to have to do. And obviously, that's not what we got. And I'm like, oh, Okay, fine. I just won't drive anymore.
Yeah.
I have 2 cars, and I'm seriously thinking about selling both of them because I just don't see a need for them.
Well, I was thinking the same thing might happen when, like, they were saying at one point, you'll need a car to drive around the city, and if you don't have a car, you'd actually have to get a ride from somebody or walk. And I was thinking that like might be a challenge too, because if you decide you want to go from, let's say, Vegas to what's South Lake Tahoe, and you don't have a car, so you hire a taxi to do it, and that guy has to stop halfway along the way and charge up. That guy's going to be annoyed too, because now his Uber business is much harder than I thought it was going to be.
Are we going to get another city that's a drive-only 2 city? Potentially, it could happen. I'm not saying it won't or won't, or won't. But are we ever going to need to go back to South Lake Tahoe? I don't think we will ever have a need to go back there.
Yeah.
It's fully minted out. They said it was 100% released. Why would you go back there?
Yeah.
To go pick up things from showrooms.
Well, you won't even need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
With the new setup, there'll be zero reason to drive to, unless you want to open a showroom. Then you need to go see the town hall and make an application. That'd be the only reason why you'd want to go to South Lake Tahoe, and why you'd want to set up there as opposed to LA. Got me beat. Like, to me, LA, Queens, these and Chicago would be the 3 most obvious cities to set up a showroom, because they're the biggest and the easiest to accessible to most players. So that's my game plan anyway, those 3 cities, and opening up showrooms there. I'm not going to shut down my showrooms in London and Paris at this stage, because they might come handy, I don't know, but I can see myself not needing them down the track. But we'll have to wait and see. So,
talking about tracks, let's move on to that.
So anyway,
I do have a hard stop time.
Let me just ask that one question, CapedMadman. So with your app there, is it possible to even just monitor what your inventory is at different showrooms and factories? So even if it just pulls the data, because it must be on the app, it must be somewhere on some list, because it's all NFTs on the blockchain. So there must be a way somewhere to pull up, like for my account, and go, right, I've got 5 showrooms that has, and this is the stuff that's currently sitting there at the showroom, and then I've got 4 factories, and this is the stock that's sitting on the factory floors at these factories. That's the information. If I can't have a UI that actually helps me manage all this in game, having some sort of system that I can just eyeball and go, right, my showroom in LA is a bit low on these items, and I can just send that across, as opposed to having to eyeball it, put them all in a row, make sure they're neat, and go, okay, well, I try and have 10 of these items, and I've only got 3, so I need to move 7 across. Like, if there was a way to just be able to, without having to manage that physically, that in itself would be a huge improvement.
Well, I imagine there is, because obviously Upland knows where
all the stuff is.
Yeah, so. But that's not part of the blockchain, as far as I understand. There's a difference between the data that Upland has and the data that the blockchain has. I think the blockchain just wants to know that you have a thing. They don't care where it is.
Yeah,
that data may be there, but I don't know.
That'd have to be an API, and there's probably no API at the moment.
Yeah, but Upland has all that data. They would just have to release an API that would allow us to look at that. But I don't know why they would, because they want to. Or maybe it might help if somebody, like, that was the thing. When I did talk to them, they said, "Well, we need to know what you're doing before we give you developer access."
So, I mean, that would have been a great layer too, even for Upland, where you could look at your property and look at the map assets that are on that property.
Yeah.
When you already go to your account and you bring up, your whatever property you've got, and you can see that you've got what structure that's on there. But I'd love to be able to click that and then go that next level and go, right, on this property is a list of these map assets. That's kind of what I'm basically asking.
Yeah.
And as far as I know at the moment, you can't do that. That's what I'd love to see if Upland don't actually make a UI that's useful for UGC, which I can't see happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do know that they've said that a lot of this stuff is difficult to do. No one's ever done this before, and I don't know how difficult it is. Like, I mean, yeah, if you're a wizard thing,
you're talking about SQL. I'm assuming a lot of this would be SQL based type stuff, with all the different data that you got to pull and sort out. Like, again, I'm not a programmer, so I don't know, but I mean, it's a matter of them dedicating the resources to that problem, and I don't think they have the
that may
resources
part of
to
it.
dedicate it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard to do what I'm saying. I think it's just that's not on their radar because they've got bigger fish to fry than worrying about UGC. So
Yeah.
So what? Sorry, what?
All right.
One thing I did want to try.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, one thing I wanted to try, like you guys were talking last week about the robots. I just wanted to try this to see what will happen. This is not to get anybody in a tizzy or anything. So I'm just curious because I've done this several times myself, and I always get the same person buying my property. What I want to do is sell a property under mint and see if anybody that's watching can actually buy it before the robot does.
Well, no, because there'll be a delay on the stream. So even though it might only be a couple of seconds, 2, 3, 4 seconds, but that delay in itself.
But I'll give you the alert as to what property I'm selling. So you should just be able to look at it and wait till it turns green and then buy it, right? As soon as it turns green, there's no delay because I'm giving you plenty of warning which property I'm going to sell.
Potentially.
So if
you should be able to go there.
And under a bot's, and it depends. I mean, there's a lot of variables here. So not all bots will pick up all properties in all cities. So depending on what it is, and then some of them have different thresholds as to what percentage or markup that they will hit for. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about Freaky Man here, and if he's got a bot, let's say Granada Hills, he's got one set up there to buy at under 30% in Granada Hills. If he's got that bot set for Granada Hills, we will not be able to buy that property. That's what I'm saying. Doesn't matter whether he's in front of the computer or not. It's irrelevant. Yeah. He will pick up that property. I'm saying you won't be able to cancel the transaction. As soon as you hit OK to put it up there, I'm saying you can't cancel that transaction before it's already bought, let alone someone else buying it.
Yeah, and I know that is an issue, but I've often wondered, like, how fast is it actually triggering? And it's not through the blockchain. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's done through Upland, like the bot is. They're either manipulating the browser, which I'm thinking is what's happening, which is against terms of agreement or whatever they call it. You're not allowed to manipulate the browser to get something. You can only use the browser to get something, the normal way.
And, which makes total sense, but it's instantaneous. My personal experience, it's instantaneous.
Yeah,
like don't worry about someone else buying. You can't cancel that one transaction yourself. And when you go from hit sell to hit cancel, which takes you less than a second, you still can't beat.
It's already gone. Yeah. Yes. Well, each time I've done it on purpose, and it's just to see what happens. And most of the people, or it's really only ever been one guy, but when I look him up on UPX land, seems kind of questionable. Like there's no way to tell if somebody's multi-accounting or not anymore, because you can actually give away properties for almost nothing. Like it's a reward, like you guys do it. And so there's no way to see if somebody's constantly selling properties for low values. That doesn't mean anything anymore,
Yeah, I mean, we could try it if you want.
It was just a thing. Like if I pick a property, give you guys enough warning so that the delay isn't a thing.
No, but I've heard of many times that someone's made a deal to buy a certain property at a certain price. It might even be USD, and they've agreed, because USD you can't make an offer. You have to wait for someone to list it, and then pay for it. So if someone's making an offer, say 30%, and the current threshold for the bot in that city or that particular property is already there, even though you go, yeah, right, I'm going to list it right now, get ready, go. That bot will snipe it before you can get it because it's already there. And that's the part I have an issue with. The fact that you can't make an offer in USD, which to me is ludicrous. Why? I mean, I don't understand why that's not a thing. And you've got to use a burner property. So you go find some property, say it's a $10 price that you've agreed on, go find some property that's worth less than $3 and buy that for $10 and then do a swap straight for that property, which then starts to get into the realm of, are we doing illegal trades? Because you're swapping a shit property for a good property.
Yeah.
But that's the only way you can do it. It's a burner property, and that's a thing in the game. It's not unusual. So if you did get flagged, it would be relatively easy to explain to Upland what's going on. But it's still a pain in the ass to go through that process.
Yeah.
And makes giving away property sometimes hard too, because like I'd just say make an offer for 1 UpX and you can have the property. And if we're doing it on stream, like, at least there's video proof that it's a legit giveaway, all that sort of stuff. Nothing nefarious, but it's do you really want to be risked going to jail for 2, 3, 4 days while you clear your name?
Yeah.
And who knows what you're missing out on in those times that you can't, what competitions or what, events are happening or city openings or whatever you miss out on while Upland get their act together and sort it out. Like, it's such a, anyway.
Yep.
But anyway.
Well, I thought it would be an interesting experiment, but the way you've explained it, it probably is not worth it. But
I think you can list it and don't worry about us trying to buy it. You just try and cancel it, and I bet you can't. As long as if you
I really know that.
If you try and list it for 1 UpX in any city, I bet you can't cancel the transaction before it's bought, and you can cancel it, so then we can buy it.
I usually do it at 70% of the mint price because I don't want to, like you said, go to jail for trying to sell something too cheap. Although if it was an accident, then
And I don't understand why they do this, but what I've seen our bots do a lot is they'll list actually I've seen this one a lot too. They'll list a property, let's say for 555 UpX, and you'll see it come up and it's like 1% of mint value because the actual mint value was 55,000 something UpX, but they'll list it for 555 UpX. And you'll get a Discord notification saying a property's just been listed for 1% or 5% or whatever it is of mint value. And you go, okay, well, that's a bit weird, but you'll look at it. By the time you get there, it's changed from 555 to 55,555 UpX. And then they do that list to try and, I guess, and if you don't double check the price and you just see all the fives and you click buy,
okay.
You bought it for 55,000 UpX instead of 550 UpX or something along those lines. And you're like, okay, well, I've just got, I've never fallen for that one, but I've seen that a lot. And I'm just like, you're trying to tell me this is okay for the game? If people are doing stuff like that, I don't know if that fools other bots, I doubt it, but it definitely might fool someone that's jumping on one of those Discord notifications, which I personally don't have a problem with because we all have access to them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
And they're not an automated, well, they are. You just got to sign up for the service. It's all there.
No, I know it's true, but I mean, I don't know. I agree with that.
They're not an automatic. Well, they're not an automatic thing because it still requires you to be logged into your account, go to that property, and do the transaction yourself. It's not doing it all for you. It's not automatic. And Upland clearly have their terms and conditions saying you cannot create some sort of bot that is automatic.
Yeah.
A notification is one thing. Creating a bot that does the full transaction is another thing.
Right.
Anyway, let's
move on.
From that.
All right. Do we want to talk a little bit about the racetrack before I have to go? You guys can talk as long as you want, but I got about minutes.
I've got to go too. I've got in-laws and stuff here. I'll quickly share because I want to update. I'll present, share screen, entire screen. This one, share. All right. So I showed this document a couple of weeks back, and I had the figures all wrong. So it's basically the same thing. Starting from January, we're going to do this 100 up to 100,000 UpX giveaway for owning a track on the Volga Speedway, which is fully fenced. And if you do it properly, also have a structure on it. So to be eligible, as we said, all you do is own the track and comply with the fencing and put that on the edge of the track. So each property that you own, so if you own 20 properties, you get 20 entries into the draw each month. Minimum, I'm going to run this for 6 months, probably longer, but we'll see how things go with Upland and everything else. So I'm committing to 6 months at least at this stage. No matter what happens, I will do it for 6 months. So each property that is fenced will be $250 into the prize pool. So that's across the board. So basically, if we get something like 200 properties, then the prize pool will get up to 50,000 UpX. So a single winner will be selected. So any property with the fences will go into a random draw. I'm hoping that this is something you can help me with CapedMadman to give people that have complied with it, and give us a running tally of what percentage we're up to with fenced and what people are eligible for the draw, so we can chuck that on a wheel and just spin the wheel and get. Yep. So I don't know if you can do that or not. If we've got to do it manually, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I've been doing it manually, but it once it's set, like there's never an increase in the number of properties, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. So but that's not till the end of January for the first one anyway. So everybody's got time. I'm trying to work with Caesar at the moment. I think he's got up to 20 properties on the track. So pretty much everything I've got, I've sort of allocated to him, giving him a bit of time to allocate those map assets across his properties. So everyone else is sort of on the back burner until I get on top of Caesar's stuff. And then we'll go back to working with some other people. So I can only emit them so fast. So my factory's been pumping them out as fast as we can since they got approved, but there's only so much we can do. All right, so we got the boosters. So if you own a structure on a property, you automatically get, so any structure whatsoever, there'll be 25% boosters. So assuming we get to the maximum here at 50,000, it's an extra 25,000. So a quarter of that, so 12,500 UPEX will be the prize pool. However, if you've got the size property, so we don't want to have micro houses or even ranches on the property. If you can fit, and I'm pretty sure almost every property on the track fits in this category, where you can at least put a townhouse or a even the luxury ranches, all those sort of things. We'll include that as the size bonus. An apartment building, just as long as it's not a small townhouse or a micro house or whatever. So if you've got the larger building, then that bonus becomes a 75% boost. So what's that about? 36,000 UPEX bonus. So we're going from 50,000 to about 86, 88,000, whatever it works out to be. And I've loosened this up a little bit too. So if you've got a home address set on any property, so if you own 20 properties and it's your home address is set on any property on the track, then you'll get the home address boost, which is another 25. So basically so if you've got a structure and the boost, you get 100%. So therefore taking up to 100,000 UPEX for the prize pool. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I'm trying to get it up to 100,000. I'm trying to give people incentives to continue to grow, build, all that sort of stuff, and help Granada Hills out at the same time. So, all right. So if you're not already, all you do is get in touch with myself or LSlack to work out how to get your map assets. So your track fencing, I'll supply them all for 1 UPEX. I wish I could do it for free, but apparently that price of 1 is too much for some people. But 1 UPEX per map asset, which is the least I can do. I mean, if you want to do bonus swap, you can do that, but that technically costs way more. So 1 UPEX from one of these 3 showrooms from me is the way to go. Now, we are talking, there is a number of players in the game that have indicated they're not really interested in getting involved to putting the map assets off, but may sell. I'm trying to still work out the logistics of that. I think a 3x on any mint price, I think that's more than a fair price. If somebody does want to sell and doesn't want to get involved, I will blanket, with the exception of that really huge property. We'll talk about that one. If that player wants to sell, we'll work that one out differently. But I think just all the standard, the sort of between 10 and 20,000 UPEX mint price. If somebody does want to sell, I'll happily pay 3x for that property, but not to keep for myself. I already got 6 or 7 properties myself. I don't care about collecting them. I want to give them away. And what I'm hoping to do, if people do want to sell and sell at a reasonable price and not a stupid price, like some people have indicated, I want to try and create a second prize pool that was also done each week with the grand prize of being a trackside property, but for properties that are in that second row behind the track. So basically, if you're behind a property that's on the track and you're not on the track yourself, you build a structure on there that is a townhouse or bigger that you can clearly see from the track, then we'll try and work out how to put that into a draw each week to at least win a structural ornament. And if you're lucky enough to spin up the trackside property, then you might get a trackside property and then put you in the draw for the 100,000 UPEX. That's what I want to do. And if we end up having multiple people that want to sell and sell for that reason, any property that I do purchase for 3x will be given away to someone for free. I'm not here to try and make money at anyone, unlike some other people. I just want to get other people who want to be involved in this project, and I'm willing to take a hit for the team at a 3x. I think some of the prices that people have been throwing up there is just, it's disappointing to think that people want to gouge us, haven't lifted a finger to help and just want to gouge us for ridiculous prices, when all we want to do is try and work with the community to try and build up this track for not just LSlack, but everyone that's involved in this track. And we want to try and extend that to that second row. So I know you can't see, but you know what I mean? There's a crap load of properties in that sort of one block behind the track, and which is very close to the track, and you can clearly see it from the track, so we can get people to build.
Yeah, if we could build up the foreground, that would be awesome.
So
That would look
I want to work on that. So we don't have any of those properties yet, or we need to negotiate with some more track owners to do that. So we'll see how we go there. So this is what we're thinking. So if anyone does see that and don't want to get involved, it's too much. And to be fair, it is a bit of work to try and get these map assets on your property, and it can be a bit limiting and a bit annoying. I think the overall look when we get there is going to be amazing, but I can understand that some people just don't want to do it. That's fine. And I think a 3x, I mean, for a non-collection property, I think a 3x is well and truly more than being fair.
Right. And who's to say down the road it's not worth a whole lot more than that, especially when we lock LA and the secondary market hopefully is gonna
well, we're not trying to make the properties worth more. We're just trying to make.
I'm not saying we are, but down the road, today it makes 3x is fine, right? And some of the prices that people are trying to gouge us for are a bit ridiculous.
$100 for a 10,000 UpX property is just ludicrous, and we don't want people to sell to us. We want people to get involved, and that's the ultimate goal.
And I don't want shitbags on the track. If you're looking to exploit this, like you're making these map assets and we're giving them away for free. CapedMadman, you've got me this spreadsheet. You've made this app. You're paying to give something away for free. We have no interest in like making money off of anybody, but down the road, naturally the prices are going to come up, and let's just be realistic at the moment, and let's not try to fuck each other, and let's just work together and make something really, really cool that, that will probably add value to the entire game down the road. Let's do something cool right now to make something really cool later.
And sadly, Picasso, unfortunately, some people, are only interested in making and gouging us for money rather than being part of the project, which will work. Hopefully they change their tune. I don't want to call anyone out or dish anyone. I hope that they change their tune. They start seeing what's going on around them. Yeah. Anyone can look at the track and see where the holes are and see who's not wanting to get involved. And
we'll buy
don't
myself, premium, but, you know what I mean? Like, we'll give you. You can make money if you want. We'll buy it from you.
Triple X is on. Well, I was thinking Triple X for UpX, or I'll pay 100% for USD. I think both of those two are well and truly fair. I don't think they're extravagant. But then 100% USD for most of these properties around the $10, not $100. Just saying. And again, if I purchase any of these properties because people don't want to get involved in it, it's purely to give them away down the track. Yeah. I own whatever properties I own. I'm not going to try and acquire anymore. I don't want to acquire. I'd love for there to be 200 different owners, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the ultimate goal. I can't see it happening, and I'm not suggesting that people that own 20 properties give up 19 of them to other people by any stretch of the imagination. But ultimately, it'd be awesome to have 200 different owners all active and involved. It's not going to happen. It's near impossible to try and organize that. In fact, there's already a number of players that aren't even active in the game anymore, which is disappointing, but it happens. So the goal is to get the track up to 75% minted, or not minted out, but fenced off. And who knows, these other players might come back into the game as Upland hopefully heats up over the next 12 months, and maybe they start seeing what's going on and see some messages and start getting involved, or just flip their properties at a fair price.
Right.
But anyway, so we'll go with that. So I just wanted to get that out there with what I'm hoping to do, running with the competition upwards of 100,000. I know I'm never going to give away the 100,000, but it'd be nice to actually, if we got to that position where I was up to giving away 100,000, that would be amazing, because it meant the track would be phenomenal. But we'll see how we go. There'll be weekly prizes as well. I mean, at very least, I'll be giving away structural ornaments all over the place.
I'm going to start firing up some events and some races for the track here pretty soon. I'm not going to say anything about that yet, because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth if there's something I can't do, but I got some ideas.
Well, you did apply for a URL, didn't you? Or...
I did, and it's approved.
Ooh.
Does that mean you'll get a race, an actual speedway race, like one season?
It potentially, yeah. So in the URL, server, I get access now to like a different like part of it, and so I can nominate. I nominated the Vulgar Speedway for upcoming.
So I think it
URL
means we'd have to
event.
sponsor a race or something like that, but that's something we can talk about down the track
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But
But just as far as getting this Vulgar Speedway on the list of tracks for one of these seasons, that's what I've nominated it for just the other day. So yeah, but the piece that makes that so much easier is getting the community involved, like we've already done. I think we're already a couple steps ahead with getting the trackside properties done and being organized, and the things that we've been building up properties. I think we're further along than maybe some other tracks, especially being so brand new. And then the community aspect and getting people involved is really what the URL is looking for, and having racetracks be a dynamic thing. And so we're well and truly on our way to doing something.
One thing was I think one of you mentioned last week was that you wanted some more things for the ninjas and the vulgars, whatever you want to call them, to
The
be
teabaggers.
doing. Yeah, because like you guys have put them in jail or prison, and
Yes.
I love the
Where
Supermax
they
that you
deserve
did,
to be.
Swarley. That's fantastic. I hadn't thought of anything like that, but I was thinking you guys could take it to the next step. And I know you don't want them to escape from jail, but you could do a breakout where you had a wall that was broken down, and have some of them escaping from prison.
Oh, it's an escapable jail. No, didn't you read the blurb? It is.
Well, not from the Supermax. We'll wrangle them up and put them in the Supermax.
Yeah, but I was thinking you could have like some cop cars around there, and they're trying to escape, but then the wall's knocked down or something. I don't know. It was just another. It's like if this is going to be a story,
Yeah,
you can't
we
just
could probably do that on the Vulgar Speedway in that jail. We could surround them on that one for sure. Those dirty ninjas.
No, we're hoping to have a story that evolves all the time. So if you didn't catch it this week on Twitter, I did meet the heroes, which was just the staff that will be running the jail. So they're all getting their briefing from the shot I tried to take was kind of like a hidden sort of camera shot of the staff that will be running the jail. So they will no doubt be introduced to the jail next week. I won't say what I'm thinking of or whatever, but there's different things I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
and we'll have different events from time to time. If really ninjas, yeah, well, by all means. I mean, all the properties around it got bought up pretty quick, so we'll like to see what's going on. It would be cool if we could take this to the next level, like some sort of layer 2 sort of. But anyway, I'm hoping that it's not just static.
Bullshit.
Yeah, so I don't want it to be a static, like once it's set up, we set and forget and walk away. I've put in well over 1 million UPEX, well over setting it all up. That's what we've got already. So I minted 13 properties all in the same block, like 2 days before they announced the meeting challenge. So I'm like, God damn it! But I'm not too scared about it. I didn't do it to try and win any prizes from the boys. They give away enough, and I'm more than happy for them to give it away to other players. But yeah, so I want it to be ongoing, and I'd like to see their retaliation and just keep it. At the end of the day, all we're doing is helping their node actually get more multipliers and whatnot. So it's only really helping them rather than hindering them. So it's all in good fun.
It is. Yeah. I am being summoned by the boss, so we do got to wrap this up.
All right, so
if you haven't put in hashtag Vulgar Speedway, do it now. And then we're gonna hit this button here in just a few minutes, or not in a few minutes, in a few seconds. So get it in. Stop this hashtag free ninjas. Nobody's freeing any ninjas.
Actually, I love what you guys have been doing. Like the whole, even this podcast kind of thing. It's much more effort than a lot of other people are doing, and that's I watch this now every week. So,
well, thank you.
So, Hot Bike Ninjas is SC, correct?
Yes, I believe it is. Well, I bet they both have access, but I think this one is Ninjas. What? Ninja kicking the tea bags. Ah, nice. That's very funny.
It is USC.
It is SC. SC's on there talking shit.
I did reserve some track side fencing for you for your one property that's on the track. I've had to reallocate that, but hit me up when you're available and I'll get you, because you've only got the one property. I'll get you some track fencing and get you sorted.
Hold on to this for a minute. Well, now that SC's in here, just got to make sure that no shenanigans happen. We got my ninja slayer over here.
So any more entrants? I haven't
We got 6. Last call.
You entered Cape Madman?
No, it's okay.
Oh, you can get a
I'm
structure.
happy to watch. Oh, okay. Well, actually, I can't join the chat. I'd have to link my thing to it. I haven't done that yet.
I'll do it for you.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
It's cheating.
cool.
If I win,
No, well, if Volga's name comes up, that means you win.
Yeah.
We often do that for people that can't get it in there. So, all right, last call. So, any one of my structural ornaments will be up for.
Okay. Here we go. Everybody had their chance. Who's it going to be? Level Up Tech.
I'm sure he won last week too.
I bet he did.
And I'm sure I asked the same question last week. What's your in-game name again? I got a shocking memory. I seriously do.
You need to do something like that. Take some vitamins or something, man.
Whilst Level Up takes Chucksy's name back in the Discord, in the chat, so I remember. There's my spin wheel with all my different structural ornaments on it. So we'll shuffle, and spin. We'll see what you get. It has got my new one on there, being the Peppermint Tower, which will be for this coming season. But it looks like you're getting Patriot Games. So
that's a good one.
Yeah, I like
That's
that
a
one.
good one.
So that is a favorite for a lot of the Americans. Not so. All right, so we don't need to remove that. We'll just close that. So I'll keep that for next time.
Okay.
All right, so Level Up. Just give me your in-game name and what city you want to pick up from, and I'll sort that out as soon as possible. If you leave it too long, I'll forget and you won't get it. I still haven't. I need to chase up some prizes that I won from your giveaway. I still haven't sorted out.
Yeah. Level Up, what's your in-game name? We can never remember because we're slow.
Don't forget to smash the like. Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me.
like,
I don't get anything for it.
Get out of this thing, man. Yeah. Oh man, my phone just keeps going off. If anybody, well, I guess I'll leave it up to CapedMadman. Do you have any interest in having people contact you about any of your racetrack stuff or?
I mean, not really. I mean, the thing that I was most concerned about was the app, just getting it running and seeing if it would work. But like I said, if it does work, I can't afford it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Catch-22.
But if it did work, I'm thinking that I could at least show it to Upland and say, "Hey, look, can you do this?" You know,
right? Or maybe there's somebody out there that
can take it over or whatever.
Can take it over, or develop it in some kind of way. SC, you're gonna have to watch this from the beginning. It's a cool app that CapedMadman has been working on. But yeah, if there's somebody that could reach out to you and help you develop this app that isn't on some other service, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because I think what you got going on is really amazing and could be a massive help for anybody that is interested in racing or.
Actually, I was thinking more for the track owners because as I built it, it was more to help you guys make money from tracks, which you should be doing.
I will be using it here very shortly.
Yeah, I think we'll use you and the Volga Speedway as a test and see how we go, and hopefully
I'd like that.
Get it working. I'll keep my track out of it. I mean, I'm not too interested in trying to develop it or push it or anything like that. For me, it was just an experiment. And I've got the claim of having the first track in Washington, so people will argue
and the
that
first one on the list.
Yeah, until someone else figures out how to get in front of it, which they will.
0.1.
Well, I don't know. Whatever, I'll figure out how to get in front of me. But most people just go for their track name, which is fair enough. All right, so Level Up.
That's who you got to give it to.
Yeah, I'll sort that out now as we sort it. But I think that's me done. I don't have anything else to ask or.
Okay.
Thanks
yeah.
very much for having me.
Yeah.
Let's check in.
Anytime. Anytime. You
Fair
got any? If you got any updates, or are there any other new cool ideas? By all means, hit me up and let's talk some more. And
Swarley, is that list of the prizes and everything you were doing, is that somewhere we could look at, or is it?
All I did, no, not really. It's just all the different ones I now have in game. But
No, the list of like how many properties we have to own and have track fences on them. The sheet that you shared with us a while ago.
Oh no, that was just something I wrote up. I try to just put it on here so I had some sort of record so people can see it. I don't.
Okay.
I mean, can give it somewhere, I guess.
if you want to send it
Well,
to me,
until it's finalized, I wouldn't. But
Well, I've gone like that's what I was going through it on the show a couple of weeks ago and realized that my percentages were wrong because I wasn't giving away up to 100,000 UPX. So I had to sort of rethink the percentages for the bonuses to get them up to the 100s, which I've done. So I think we're good. The gist is basically own each property you own on the track with fences on it, you're into the draw.
yeah,
And you get bonuses for having structures and your home address. So
I
simple
was
as
just
that.
thinking of adding it to the app just as a information about the track. But
You can if you
I can
want.
I can do that anytime.
I'll share it. I'll give it to Elslack, and you can, or I'll put it in our chat channel.
yeah, and then I'll put it on my Boulder Speedway channel on the URL and on the Granada Hills server. So if anybody wants to look at it, it'll be there. Well, all right, gentlemen. I think I got to get going. I got to go, spend time with my wife. So,
Okay.
All right. Thanks for the chat. Thank
Yeah.
you for all your help, Madman.
you.
It's been amazing some of the stuff you've come up with and the help that you've given us. It's been second to none. So please
100%.
keep doing that. I'm very appreciative.
Okay.
Yeah, your help has been tremendous, and I really, really appreciate it. I look forward to doing some more. So,
Okay.
all right, guys, thanks for hanging out, and I will check you guys later.
All right.
See ya.
See you, everyone.